Hello there and welcome to the Bicycle Diaries and welcome to week 11 of my Mallorca training plan. With just on 7 months to go now until the big event itself down in Mallorca, I'm starting to get a little bit philosophical. You know, irony can be pretty ironic. Here in the UK, if you cast your mind back to the first few weeks of the year, we were at complete liberty to go out and ride our bikes whenever and wherever we fancied. Yet the weather wasn't playing ball. It was horrible. It was wet and incredibly windy. And now here we are at the end of March and the weather's actually quite nice. It's warm, it's sunny and we've got clear blue skies, yet we're all on lockdown. Now the situation here in the UK is pretty clear. I watched Boris's speech myself on TV and in a nutshell he said that you have to stay home. And the only exceptions to this are if you are going shopping for food, if you're going to work, or if you're going to hospital to seek medical assistance. He also did say that we're allowed to go out and do one form of exercise a day, and he specifically listed cycling in that. Now that's the rule that I'm going to be working to, but what he didn't make clear was precisely how long you are actually allowed to go out and cycle for and how long those rides should be. Now since then I've been looking on Strava and social media and I seem to get kind of conflicting reports. On the one hand, I see people going out and doing really long rides, so 100, 150, 160 kilometres. But then on social media, I'm also seeing people saying things like, well, no, you're only supposed to go and do an hour's exercise and you have to stay local. And again, that seems to be the rule that I personally will be working to. Now, having said that, I have been out for 4 rides this week. 3 of them were actually out on the road and 1 of them was on Zwift. On Monday I went out and did the Edney's Lane route and that was kind of a shorter one. Basically I was filming it so that I could use it on the turbo trainer later, so I cut it a little bit short, so it was only about 18-19 kilometres. And then on Tuesday I did the first Jolly Good Velo meetup on Zwift, or at least I started out doing the first ever Jolly Good Velo meetup on Zwift, but I did a fairly rookie mistake and didn't actually join the ride, so everybody rode off without me while I was stuck in on the New York course riding with everybody else on Zwift. But I've scheduled it again for next week and hopefully I won't make the same mistake. And then on Wednesday I went out and did the Buns Benton Hoe route, and again I filmed that for the turbo trainer. And then on Friday I went out and did the normal full Edney's Lane route. Up until now in these vlogs, I've been starting off by giving you the yearly totals, so how many kilometres I've ridden, how much seat time I've had and how many metres I've climbed. And then a little later in the vlogs, I've been saying how many kilometres I've ridden, how much seat time I've had and how many metres I've climbed in that particular week. Now to be honest, I find that rather confusing and I'm sure it's probably confusing you as well. So what I'm going to do from now on is just give the yearly totals, and that will include the rides that I've done this week. So the totals this week are 933 kilometres ridden, 44 hours and 44 minutes of seat time, and 5,874 metres climbed. So if we go over to Strava and have a look at the fitness scores, you can see that on Monday it was 41, on Tuesday it was 42, Wednesday it went up to 45, and then on Friday when I did the full Edney's Lane route it was still 45. All in all, I'm pretty pleased that I managed to get out and do 4 rides this week, even though the individual rides themselves weren't particularly long. As for my training, am I on track? Well, that's anybody's guess. At the moment, the big event is obviously the Mallorca trip, and as far as I'm aware, that's still going ahead. But as for the others, who knows? The Isle of Wight randonnée, which was supposed to be my next milestone event. That got cancelled about 10 days ago. And then the London 100, at the moment there's been no mention of that being cancelled, but seeing as that is in August, that could get cancelled, it could still go ahead. It's anybody's guess at the moment. So the plan for next week is to just continue chipping away at the base miles as best I can. Now my rule of thumb is going to be to stick to local routes and rides of between an hour and an hour and 20 minutes, and as such I won't be getting massive distances in. Now at some point I may have to make a decision about not riding on the road at all, not because somebody's telling me not to ride on the road, but because it might actually be the sensible thing to do. But at the moment that's a little way off. So as long as I can continue riding on the road and as long as I feel that it's safe to do so, that's what I'm going to do. While I'm here, I'd just like to do a couple of plugs. So a big shout out to Powell over at New Champ Socks, and a massive thank you for the parcel that you sent me on Saturday. Powell runs a company that supplies very interesting cycling socks, and he very kindly sent me a box of about 8 pairs. So I'll be looking forward to trying those out when I can. So if you've got a minute or so, I suggest you go over and have a look at Powell's website. I'll include the link in the description below. Perhaps also you'd like to go over and check out the Jolly Good Velo Facebook group. So that's the place where we all hang out and talk about cycling things and share stories and photos and things like that. And again, I'll leave the description, the link in the description below. And finally, if I may, I'd like to put out a very quick appeal on behalf of myself. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you'll know that when I'm not cycling, I'm trying to earn a living as a freelance cameraman and corporate filmmaker. And world events at the moment has made that rather difficult. Basically, all of my bookings and my income have gone, and essentially I'm self-unemployed for the rest of my life at the moment. Now, businesses are still running, and one of the ways that they're finding new clients and customers is through video on social media. So if that's something that you're interested in, I can still edit that, and there are ways and means of getting the footage to me. So you can shoot it on your smartphone, or we can use my archive or some of these online video libraries that supply free footage. So again, if that's something that you think might benefit your business, please get in touch, and I'll leave my email address in the comments below. So there we go, that's this week on the bike. Hopefully the sun will continue to shine and we'll all be able to go out and do our one ride a week. Stay safe everyone, and thanks for watching.